So, ladies and gentlemen, as Hollywood continues to slide back into the muck from which they crawled out of, let's take a look if any of them have learned their lesson, have reflected that maybe their Trump derangement syndrome and their hatred of audiences and their preferences and their cult like devotion to identity politics. Let's see if maybe, just maybe, they figured out that that is not a winning formula and it's actually pretty retarded and it loses them more credibility than they can possibly imagine. Let's take a look.
A positive surprise out of all this? That maybe he will turn good?
No, he's an idiot. He's a total idiot. He's not my president. I will never call him the president of the United States. I will never say that.
Oh, well, denying the election apparently is still the flavor of the day in Hollywood. Oh, he's not my president. My position is this. You can criticize Trump, but if you say that Trump is not your president and you're living in a delusional reality, I think you should be deported. I think you should be gone. I'm so sick of the anti-American sentiment, the anti-American rhetoric, where you have these insane people that are coming forward that never have to live with the consequences of their so-called good intentions. People that just blurt out this anti-American rhetoric. Like, you can criticize Trump. You can criticize the Trump administration, but these people, they don't just criticize Trump. They want to deny that he exists. They want to deny that his supporters exist. They want to deny this country exists. They want to pretend that this is some open borders Mecca where they can just do whatever they want. You know, any sort of crime, any sort of illegality, they can just do it because, well, we're Hollywood celebrities or we're on the left, we're on the right side of history. These people are freaks. And at every step of the way, they embody and champion evil and demonic satanic shit and depravity and look at these people that they champion. Illegal criminal aliens. So the best of these people violated our laws, broke our laws to enter into the country, and are here against the law even after being told to leave. The worst of them are gang members from foreign countries that are, some of the worst human beings to ever exist and are doing things to American people that are absolutely unspeakable. And yet we're supposed to sit here and we're supposed to pretend that guys like this who live in the most privileged position imaginable somehow have some insight that we should be listening to. No. I think people like Michael Shannon should be mocked and humiliated for this sort of sentiment said in public. Absolutely mocked and humiliated. It should be a stain upon your career and your reputation and your family to go out and say something like this casually in public for no reason. That's my perspective on it. I think it is unconscionable the way that these people operate. And whether this is from 2016 or whether it's from 2020 or whether it's from 2024, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that these people operate in a delusional state of mind where they go, oh, Trump's an idiot. He's not my president. If you said this about Biden, they would call you anti-American. Even though Biden was one of the worst presidents we've ever had. Biden embodied basically everything that these people in Hollywood talk about, but Trump is the perfect boogeyman for them for whatever reason, even though he was in show business for most of his life. The fact is that these people are disingenuous, plastic, dishonest freaks. And we look at people who are either in Hollywood or people who are even in wrestling. Kevin Nash blew a quad on the way to make this tweet. He says, happy 4 more trillion in debt day. Never felt this proud as we continue to destroy the empathy we once held for those less fortunate. He's talking about illegal criminal aliens. The empathy we had for people breaking our laws. So I guess happy, wealthy, white 1% day. These people are fucking retarded. Enjoy your small regional hospitals while you can. Things just continue to get greater. It is unreal that these people exist and feel comfortable making these sort of retarded statements and thinking that they're not going to get any sort of pushback. It is unreal. The level of retardation. Hey, Kevin or Michael, if you don't like America, you both have the money to leave. You both have the money to leave. And we're living in a country, I just want you to understand, we're living in a country that is primarily politically run by retards. Speaking of retards, look at the story from CNN. ICE detains breastfeeding mom as her Marine veteran husband fights for her freedom. So this woman is illegally in the country, but she's breastfeeding a kid. So we should feel empathy. We should feel empathy. She should be allowed. She's breastfeeding. She should be allowed to stay in the country. ICE are the bad guys here. You can tell because they detain a breastfeeding mom. And when you're breastfeeding, you should be allowed to stay. Even though you're in the country illegally, even though you're breaking our laws. Now, her Marine veteran husband, I mean, he knew that she was illegal, right? He's fighting for her freedom. Didn't fight for her citizenship. By the way, when Trump said, yeah, if you're illegal, you have to go back, why didn't they both leave together? Like, this is the thing. They want to frame this as though ICE is doing something wrong. No, ICE is enforcing our laws. And because the Democrats have basically made enforcing laws akin to authoritarianism, we get stories like this. Now, Joe Walsh is one of the most homosexual men on X. He is way gayer than even Anderson Cooper. I say this as someone who's been a Democrat for just over a month. You've been a Democrat for years. Democrats did not pay enough attention to our broken immigration system, so Trump won. And we got this extreme, ugly, un-American cruelty. No, this is the most American thing I've ever seen. Upholding the rule of law and not giving a shit for the emotional manipulation. This isn't ugly, this is reality. But most Americans don't support this overreaction. Yes, they do. Not this, no way. Yes, this, every way. You don't get a pass because you're breastfeeding. We are living in a time of political retards making these statements with no consequences for their anti-American radical rhetoric that is designed to, by the way, this is designed to vilify and attack ICE. The left has been saying for years that attacking the FBI or the DOJ is completely unacceptable and beyond the pale. When they were going after Trump, law enforcement could do no wrong, and you weren't allowed to criticize them. Otherwise, you were undermining our intelligence agencies. But ICE, well, you can demonize them. You can blame them for blackbagging people, innocent civilians, which doesn't happen. I mean, you can come up with any sort of convoluted, batshit, out of your mind conspiracy theory. You can come up with some sort of rhetoric that, oh, happy white 1% day, you know, we wish. I mean, all of this is deranged, delusional bullshit from these freaks and these retards, and this is what we have to deal with. This is what we have to deal with, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for today's video. There's so many more of these. So many more people just making these asinine statements and thinking that there's something. Oh God. Speaking of retardation, one more. Recycle cruelty. They're comparing Japanese internment camps in 1942 to Alligator Alcatraz. Now, for anyone who may not understand this, they're trying to create a parallel. The difference is these people are in the country illegally and they're going to be deported. They're not going to stay in these detention facilities. That's why it's on a goddamn airport. It's on an airport so that they can take them and send them home. We call it keeping campaign promises. Yeah. The language may seem, but the cruelty. These freaks are, it's a concentration camp. Imagine being Jewish and watching these people call this a concentration camp. It is a detention facility which is meant to facilitate these people coming in, being housed there, and then being deported. Your historic reference is incorrect. They imprison anyone of Japanese heritage, even those who became citizens. It was easy because we look different. They never did that to Germans. It was wrong, in my opinion. The people sent to Alligator Alcatraz are here illegally. It is a temporary home until they are deported. Not a valid comparison at all. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. What about the camos Joe Biden put asylum seekers in? These people are malicious, bad faith actors, dishonest, retarded creeps that embody the most dishonest, the most malicious, the most depraved, the most satanic. Recycle cruelty. It is cruelty to the innocent to allow the wicked and the criminals to continue to go and be allowed to do what they are doing. It is not cruelty to uphold the law. That is the insanity of the left. And that's why they need to be punished. They need to be punished because they are courting chaos and madness. And they want to bring our civilization to ruin. That's not hyperbole. They want to allow unfettered immigration. They have allowed illegal immigrants to overrun this country over the last 4 years. And now that Trump is doing something about it, they're making these callbacks to concentration camps and internment camps. These people are dishonest freaks. They have to use a black and white photo to try to scare you into going against your own best interest. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to call these people out at every opportunity. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you next time.